that directory as well. So what I'll do now is I'll actually just run guest stealer and type in the IP address that you can see above there in the URL and location bar for Firefox. It's 192.168.111.2. And I will go ahead and do 82.22. You can go ahead and do all this stuff with the command line. I just wanted to show how easy it is to use. I mean, it basically just says here, fill in the blank. And it's a server. Oh, sever. Hunt and peck. Okay, so there you go. It pulled down the VM inventory.xml file and said, okay, I only have one server on here, but if there's more, it'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So I want to go ahead and steal 0. And where do I want to put it? You can put a full path in there. I'm going to do just a dot, and that's going to put it in the working directory that I'm currently in. And there it goes. It's stealing the VMX, parsed it, identified the VMDK file, stole the NVRAM, the VMXF file, and now it's stealing the VMDK file. It's roughly 500 megabytes, so I think in the test we got it down, it's like 37 seconds. So this is when Tony was supposed to talk about the future enhancements, but okay, so it's done. So I'll go over to here, into Fusion, which is a fantastic product that I love. Go to open. Oh, here it is. So my Ubuntu box, I'll go ahead and click open. This is fantastically difficult. Hit the play button. I moved it. There it goes. I mean, it's booting, so. I mean, that's really how easy it is.
All right, so what you should do about it. So the most obvious answer is patch. VMware has fixed this vulnerability, so apply the patch, upgrade, so on and so forth. Better yet, and the actually recommended method by VMware. If you go back to the timeline slide, then you might start thinking, well, I couldn't apply a patch for 5 months in between when they're first notified about it and when they actually released the patch. So what do you do if you've got a vulnerable system?
Not to mention that, not to cut you off, but not to mention that I found this in a really stupid, embarrassing way. So somebody else probably knew about this vulnerability before I did.
So in any case, segment. So what you want to do, segment your management interfaces.
This was actually, to cut off Tony again because I'm rude like that, but this was actually VMware's recommended response was to segment the console interface network. So, but it would be my recommendation as well.
Segment systems of different security levels. Don't share physical NICs between different security levels. So again, it's all about the segmentation. It's all about defense in depth. But then just to go on to a virtualization soapbox, it's not always the best answer, right? Do you want to put your most critical systems in a virtualized environment? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when you do, just understand that there are going to be risks with doing so.
Right. I mean, it basically adds another layer, right? People are, tend to think, okay, software, hardware. Now there's the VMware in the middle, right? So you need to make sure that you address all 3 layers, if you will. So that's it. Even with the snafu, I guess we still made it within time. Are there any other questions?
Did we miss the CVE number for the vault?
Oh, wow, I didn't include that? It's 2009-3733. I'll go ahead and pull it back up. The question was, did he miss the CVE number? Yeah, here it is. That's right, the play button's here. All right. So, 2009-3733. In the back? They're not vulnerable. They fixed that before. The question was, are ESX4 and vSphere vulnerable? They are not. Okay, so the question was, did I see any stability issues when I was stealing the guest? The question is no, on top of, except for in the case of server, just dealing with the web UI through the browser, I had issues, but when I was using the Perl script, it was responsive all the time. I tested it with files of 500 megabytes, which is what we did here, a gig, 2 gigs, up to 10 gigs, and I didn't have any issues. So it seems to work pretty well. Again, It's a Perl script, so if you find that it doesn't, you can improve it yourself. But if you do, let me know. That'd be kind of cool, so we can update it too for everybody else. So, okay, so the question is kind of more, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, the question was, can you talk a little bit about how they actually fixed the vulnerability? You know, we kind of showed what was vulnerable, but how did they actually fix it? To be honest with you, I don't know everything about how they fixed it, and that was one of my questions to them, because I worked back and forth with VMware, and they were actually really responsive, but they didn't quite answer it. For ESX and ESXi, I believe, they actually fixed this before I let them know about it. In January of 2009, but if you read the details for the update, they don't say that this was an issue. They talk about some other security issues, but they don't say this is an issue. Now, what I think what the problem was this is just actually an Apache Tomcat vulnerability, and so potentially they probably just rolled it out with an updated version of Tomcat when that Tomcat vulnerability went away. I wish I had a better answer for you, but that's my understanding of it. Yeah.
Tell us how you discovered it since you finished already.
Really? Food? Oh, booze even better. Okay. Yeah, so it's really stupid. So I was just building my Ubuntu box at work, and I used this awesome tool called Nessus, and I scanned my localhost, and it found it. And I was like, no way. But yeah, so it found it. I mean, it kind of takes the mystique out of it. Like, a lot of people think like, oh, he knows something that's really cool, how to find vulnerabilities, and I really just ran Nessus against my local host. And it said, you have a directory traversal vulnerability. And I was like, that's fantastic. Hey, VMware, do you know about this? So, yeah, I guess, yeah, there goes my mystique. Anything else? All right, cool. If there's any other questions, you can find us walking around or at the bar. So, thanks, everyone.